Hello everybody and welcome to the Celtic Unrestricted Review podcast. My name is Ryan Clifford. With a bumper panellist this week, we've got JP, Barry and Jason. Well lads, glad to have you on. It's Saturday night. A few days to obviously pass the decent games against Shakhtar. Obviously looking forward to St Mirren. Barry, I'll put yourself first, mate. Over a good weekend, mate. Obviously the result against Shakhtar. On hindsight, looking back at the game now, it's maybe a missed opportunity, but I think before the game, most would have said it was a must not lose. But I think overall, in terms of performance-wise, I think it was one of the best I've had abroad in a long time. Away from home, you can see what the manager's trying to do. All in all, apart from maybe missed a few chances, I would say it was a very positive outing.
Hi Ryan, thanks, great to be here. I hope you had a good weekend as well, mate. JP, Jason, great to see you as well. And yeah, I think you've summed it up perfectly, Ryan. I think before the game, you would have said it's really important we don't lose this. Being it away from home, obviously losing our first game. But during that 90 minutes, particularly as the game went on, you're thinking this is an opportunity to get maximum points here and really put ourselves in a good position in this group. We tried, we threw everything at it, we had chance after chance, we were unfortunate and also just lacked that wee bit of cutting edge in the final third in front of goal. And it's what Ange says, you know, after the first game against Real Madrid, it's just that experience, that being clinical, and also at the right moments. But Ryan, what a performance, as you say, away from home. At this level, we're playing in the biggest club competition in the world. We're playing away from home. We're playing against a team that are seasoned in Champions League football. They were off the back of a brilliant result against Leipzig, turned them out. And we dominated that game. We were the better team. They had a 15, 20-minute period in the game when they got their goal. Other than that, we completely lost that game. It was almost one-sided. And the second half in particular was just all Celtic. And I thought, other than the goal that we conceded, we were absolutely solid at the back. We didn't really give up any chances at all, which isn't the norm for us when we go away from home in Europe. Normally, we can look shaky defensively, but we were excellent. Disappointed not to take maximum points, obviously, but really encouraged by our opening two games. First half against Madrid, we were excellent. Other than a 15, 20-minute period against Shakhtar, we were completely dominant. And the big question marks getting into Europe, getting into the Champions League for me this season were, can Ange's style of football hack it at that level? And the answer so far is an overwhelming yes.
I would say so, Barry. I think you've kind of said that as well, mate. Spot on. Your kind of review of the game, mate. And I think, JP, I think that was what Barry says. It was assumption, would the style of play affect us or be rewarding for us? Because obviously attack, but will we be able to defend? And we didn't need to defend much against Shakhtar. Me personally, I thought the goal was put to lose, especially when we had, as Barry says, we're dominant. But if you look at hindsight, as Barry says, they're season pros in Champions League. They're in it just about every year. In terms of European-wise, and that side, they're more experienced than us. They're experienced players. I think overall, you've got to take the positives for it. And we didn't lose. We were dominant. The manager's putting his style across and the players are putting the style onto the park. So apart from maybe no winning the game, I know it sounds stupid, it was very, very positive, JP.
Hi, good evening, lads. It's nice to see all your nice, jolly faces.
Smile.
You can tell, well, that's the thing, Buzz. You can tell we're all smiling because Celtic are keeping us all happy. As I say, I hope you have a good week. Hope the weekend's been good so far for you. No, you're absolutely spot on, lads. I think that was a big question before the Champions League had kicked off. when the draw was made and we were all behind our couches and fucking, well, kind of misses and that were telling us it was okay to come out now because the draw was finished, blah, blah, blah. And then we actually sat down and we talk about who we're actually going to be playing against. And then you go out and you play your first two games. You only get 1 point out of 2 games, okay. But you've played the elite of the elite, in my opinion. Between us and them, we've won a competition a humongous amount of times. So it's been absolutely superb when you look at it that way. But Shakhtar, as you said, Ryan, they're in it regularly, so they're kind of seasoned pros in that sort of competition. I know that's a kind of different Shakhtar team for the last time we played them, and it was only the 25 Brazilians I had. That was the ones that were just on the bench. But no, as I said, you're looking at, as Barry says, the first result 4-1 against Leipzig. You're like, oh, hold on a minute, you're going to be facing a proper team. But then the game comes on Wednesday. The game kicks off and we just take the game in the scruff of the neck. As Barry says, he had a 10-minute spell, they got a goal off it. And I think it's all down to the way we play. You're saying there, Ryan, about the way we've defended. I think that's because of the way we play, Ryan. It's down to how we play. Teams aren't going to walk through a Celtic team regularly. It's not going to. Remember with the way it used to happen against Barcelona, and teams used to just dance around about us. The problem is with Ange's tactics and the way Ange's got them all believing in one another. This Celtic team, every one of them are all comfortable with the bottom feet. Every single one of them. They cannot take the ball in a tight area and play out it. Look for a man, find space, moving into space. It has been absolutely nothing short of breathtaking sometimes watching some of the football play. We're playing like an elite team now in Europe. The only thing that's missing for it's an end result. And I think that comes with experience, Barry. You touched on it earlier. I think a lot of these players, apart from Callum McGregor, Joe Hart and James Forrest, in our squad, none of our boys had played Champions League football before. None of them.
Experience-wise, no.
No, none of them have. So it's a big culture shock, Ryan, to get into something like that, mate, when you've never done it before. But as the games come, don't forget, boys, we've got another 4 games. Another 4 games to experience together as a group. And by the way, see if you won the league again. It's the same summer as what you've just had there. You're straight back into the competition. So here's another massive incentive for you as we go in the season. We've got a big squad, and Ange's already stipulated a couple of times he will be using that squad. He made 9 changes at Ross County. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that again tomorrow. Overall, I'm really, really happy with what I'm seeing now. I don't think we can ask for anything more. The legs we've got in my team now is frightening. Absolutely frightening. Now, we're all sitting texting one another on the chat the other night saying, oh no, is Haksabanovic injured? No, he's not. He's not played a lot of football. And that's why he get took off at half time there. Like, Ange put that to bed yesterday. People are going like, oh, is he injured? Is he? No, don't forget as well, he never really had much of a pre-season, so he's kind of playing catch-up now.
I actually thought he done well what he done.
So did I. He looks quality. He looks, I don't want to speak too early, but he looks similar to Jota. He's got that raw quality about him straight away. He was unlucky, I don't know if any of you remember it. He beats the boy in the left wing and he's cutting across. And he was really unlucky because if he got it right, Kyogo was scoring. He tries to play a ball with it outside his right boot and it goes right into the goalie's hands. See a couple of weeks down the line when he's fitter or he's a bit more sharper and he's a bit more with it. That ball comes off and Kyogo's on the end of that and it's a goal. Again, you've got a great chance with Gens after we go 1-0 up. He could have made it 2-0. He hits it right to the goalie. That goes 2-0. And my belief, they don't come back to 1 each. So you've only got to look at the transcript. One of the boys posted on the chat today for us, their manager. Thought that was a great compliment. That's the thing. Other managers, Modric, Kroos, there's people talking about us now. They're mentioning the fact that the way we play, how, having to survive in a game, as some of the Real Madrid boys were talking. They came to Parkhead thinking that, they were going to have to survive a good bit of that game. For a good 60, 65 minutes of that game, boys, we forced them back away. We frustrated the life out of them and we worried them because we had 3 really good chances in that game. Difference is, they had 3 chances and all. They scored with their 3. We didn't.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's fine margins at that level, boys. And when this team gains experience and becomes a bit more accustomed to the level, we'll be partying. I have no doubt about that. We will be partying. And I mean partying because we've had success, because we'll be going away to teams and getting results, because we'll be beating teams at Parkhead. Some of these teams like Shakhtar, no disrespect, I know they're in there most seasons. And about a year or 2 down the line, if we keep progressing the way this team are progressing, in my opinion, some of these teams are not going to live with us. They won't live with us. It's going to be very difficult. But again, you start playing well, you start getting results, you're going to need to hold on to your team or not. But the team will need to keep evolving. Whether that means players will move on, new players will come in. But it looks like it's going to be a conveyor belt of talent, as in guys maybe go out, but it'll be guys coming in that were just as good as him. Guys that are, because that's what's happening now. The guys that are coming off the bench, it's not like you're bringing David Turnbull off and bringing on Willow Flood. The impacts, I know you're ready to start laughing here, boys, but that's what I'm trying to say. It's no, you're not having that. The impact's just the same. If it's not making you kicking on a wee bit with your tempo. So you're not bringing off Carter Vickers and having to bring on Effie Ambrose. No, but that's what I mean. The squad he's building is like for like. The big thing about it is how he's keeping them all happy. I don't know what he's doing.
Said that before.
Because if you're as good as Turnbull and O'Reilly and Hatate are playing before you, and they're getting picked all the time to play first, and you're only getting me snips as in when the cup games come, or every now and again when it's getting rotated. How are you staying happy about it? So, in my opinion, you must have some relationship with them as well to keep them all on board and keep them all on side. And I think that's going to be key as well as we go down this season. I think we've got quite an intense schedule after this international break that's coming next week. I think there's something like...
Sorry, boys.
I want to say 10 or more games. Maybe in something like 25 days, 21 days. That's a lot of football.
Yeah, that's why you get a big squad, but...
Well, that's it. This is what I was ready to say there, Jace. That's why he's brought in the squad he's brought in. That's why he's brought the numbers he's brought in to deal with it. So that we're not relying on the same 10 or 12 players to pull us out a hole. And that's how you've seen last season Turnbull pulling his hammy, Kyogo pulling his hammy, because they were playing game after game after game after game. Now we don't have that. Now we've got the luxury of being able to bring these guys out and bringing in newer, fresher guys who aren't hindering us. They're kicking us on again. They're making us that wee bit stronger. So, all good in the hood, boys.
I think Jason, what JP says he's kind of summed up what Ross saying and for the match. And I think we've spoken about it personally in the chat with Barry as well. And the only thing it probably, as it stands at the moment, sets us apart for some of these better teams is being clinical at that level. That's the difference. This is why Real Madrid players are playing Real Madrid, because they're clinical. Hazard on the part for so long scores. But like I say to you, Jackie Marcus' chance, Maeda's chance, if that's against Livingston, I guarantee it's a goal. It just so happens it's European football, and it's fine, like JP says, it's so fine margins. This is why I think going forward in the group, I think we need to start taking these chances, because they will come and haunt us. That's just the nature of the beast in football. That's just what happens. But your thoughts on the Shakhtar game, Jason? But for me, I just think it's I know it's probably my own stuff here, right? But if we're more clinical, we're going to score more goals and win the game because for me, that game against Shakhtar, like JP says, if you score that goal 1-0, for me, Shakhtar are not come to score 3 goals.
No
So,
chance.
I don't know what you think of the match, mate, but I think overall, like we've all said, I know we do the game and normally we draw it at Celtic, it's a disaster, but the fact you went to a seasoned team, you've went away from home, you've dominated the play, it's actually a positive result, and there's no really any negative apart from being more clinical.
Good evening, lads. How are we? Hope you're all having a good weekend. Aye, it's the first, in regards to the Saturday game, it's the first away game that I've watched in my life supporting Celtic where I've been annoyed that we've not won the game. I think more experienced teams have went to Shakhtar in the past campaigns and been beat convincingly. But I think it does come down to we seem to freeze up front when we're getting these chances. I don't know if there's just maybe to score in the Champions League and they panic. That's Maeda had 2 good chances in the last 2 games that if that's in the league, he's scoring them. Big Yakimakis, I think, as you said, I think if that's against any club in the league, it's in the top corner. But I just thought, just the way that we're playing now is unbelievable. I thought Greg Taylor again was sensational. I don't know what Anne just said there, but he's done to him. But the development of that boy was unbelievable. Don't know if Ryan will agree with that one right enough, but
He's raging.
I know he is. But I was so.
How's that humble pie, mate? Is it nice?
I don't like pie, mate.
But I
I think you should be saying that live on a podcast, to be honest with you.
Excuse my French, all depends which state pie or Scottish pie.
I just think that, in my opinion, for watching the game, I don't think Shakhtar had any intention of scoring a goal in the second half. I think they were just quite happy to soak up. I think as well, the boy that scored the goal was their danger man. Everything came through him. And I just thought we were really good the way that we defended real well for the back. Big Jens again. I just think that guy's absolutely phenomenal. He's so calm in the ball.
He started well.
What I was saying to my dad as well, see with this Celtic team, I don't know if any of you have noticed it, but none of them shy away from the ball. They've always like that, give me the ball. Do you know what I mean? None of them are shying away from it. I like that. But I always say that if you can get a point in Europe, it's like away from home, it's a cracking result. But I really, I wasn't annoyed. I think I was more gutted that we didn't win the game because we've done so much, done enough to win the game. And and I think that he'll learn a lot for that because when we're going to play Leipzig away, it might be that they'll be more clinical now because I've had maybe 2 games or whatever. I think Andrew, what I'm seeing, that he's learning in every game in Europe. I mean, even if you go back to that campaign last year against Betis and Leverkusen, see if we had to play Leverkusen now and be leading that game, we're not losing that game in my opinion. Whereas last year we did. Same as Betis away. I think if we're sitting in Betis away and we're leading the game, we're not losing that game. And then I think if you look at compared to for the Bordeaux Glim game to now, it's fucking night and day. But as JP said, I think he will make changes tomorrow. And I'm alright with that. Totally confident in the changes that he's going to make. I think Turnbull and that will probably start tomorrow, and I'm alright with that. And it's just I'm buzzing in it. It's just I've never seen us play this well in Europe.
I think, Barry, like Jason says, I think the overall with the Shakhtar game, it's probably frustration we didn't win because we've actually went and done so well. And I think for me anyway, it was just I wasn't annoyed like Jason says. It was just frustration because you went away from home, and let's be fair, we all know the media were probably ready to hamper us for getting beat. Because that's just the way it is up here. I think overall, Barry, I think it's a massive positive step in the right direction. The manager's putting across what he's wanting to do, and he's probably one of the only managers that I've seen at Celtic in my lifetime. I know I'm only 28. I know I might not look like 28, but he's actually Barry. He's one of the only managers that actually came out and says what he's going to say, and he's doing what he said. He says he's going to try and make us a Champions League club. He's going to be competitive. You've only had 1 point, Barry, out of 2 games, but performance-wise, you've went 60, 65 minutes against the best team in the world, gave them a lot of problems, and you've went a season pros team, a season Champions League team away from home and basically dominated the game. So it is a big positive, and the direction we're going, it's a very, very good step, mate.
No, definitely. And as Jason says, a point away from home in Europe is always a good point, especially when you're playing in the biggest competition in the world. It's the Champions League. So nothing's a certainty. You go away from home and take a point, on any day, it's a good point. It's just that obviously, as we've all said, when you play that well and you create that many chances, you're almost inclined to look ahead. You're thinking those extra 2 points might make the difference later on. But that's if buts and maybes. It might not. That actually might turn out to be a great point when it's all said and done. It might be the difference was qualifying, getting through. But what I'm encouraged by is I do believe that we've got a guy running our club in Ange Postecoglou who is a top manager. How far he can go in the game remains to be seen. But looking at what he's done with us in a short period of time, looking at his ability to plan ahead, because it's a different year this year with the World Cup happening. And I heard his interview yesterday and he was talking about they had been planning for this in pre-season. They had been planning for building a big squad because of the type of year we're expecting to have. So he's a guy who is a couple of steps ahead. And what I love about the way we performed at Shakhtar is, and Jason touched on it, for the minute we kicked, in fact I think it was JP, for the minute we kicked off, we were the team that took control of the ball. We were the team that imposed their style on Shakhtar. And you can only do that if you've got belief. Mm-hmm. And this is a word that Postecoglou's used time and time again. He used it when he first came into the club. That I need to get the players to believe in me. I need to get the staff to believe in me. I need to get them to believe in the way I play. And it was so evident in our second game, only our second game, going into it against Shakhtar. Those players believe in the way that Ange Postecoglou wants to be played.
Yep.
They've got full faith and belief in their style of play. And that's a different dynamic. I don't believe, you can look back at Brendan Rodgers' team, in my time anyway, go back to Martin O'Neill, and the team had a certain way of playing, but in the big matches, and especially in Europe, you're almost dependent upon passion and desire and will to win and the crowd behind you and these kind of things. But this is a whole new dynamic we've got at Celtic now, that we've got a way of playing, we've got an identity that doesn't change, we've got a style that doesn't change, we've got players who, when they come off the bench or we rotate the team, they're coming into a system, they're coming into a way of playing. They're not having to come in and change and adapt week after week. The manager's made it really crystal clear how we're going to play. He's coaching it with the players every day. And they've bought into it, and they've took that mindset, they've took that belief into the Champions League, as I've said, the biggest competition in the world. That's what was most reassuring for me, guys, against Shakhtar, is that this team went onto the park and said, we've got the right to be here. We've got a style of play that can hurt any team in the world. And the way they played showed that they've bought into exactly what the manager's asked. And if you listen to Ange after both games, he's talking about this club belongs at this level. Mm-hmm. these fans deserve to have this team in this competition every single year. And he was even, you could see it, he was disappointed after the game against Real Madrid. There was somebody asked him a question, and almost to the effect of, you must be pleased he competed. And his response was quite blunt. No, we're disappointed we lost the game. We're not happy that we lost the game. So that to me is dead refreshing, because he clearly believes that this Celtic team and Celtic as a club deserve to be playing at that level and should be getting better and better year after year, as he said. And, he's a guy that doesn't use excuses. He's not talking about budgets like other managers have been doing. He's not talking about other factors. He's just keeping it simple. He's saying this is a massive club, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and they should be playing at this level every single year. And he's instilling that into the players, and that's what makes me excited.
I agree, Barry. I think JP, what Barry says, it's, for me, the big thing I've noticed with this, obviously the qualities get better, but it's the mindset and the mentality of the squad. It's just a winning mentality he's installed in them. I know we've had a winning mentality for years, but considering the season we had and what he came into, he had to install a lot of things, and belief was a big thing, because let's be fair, us as fans, we were in a bad disarray. We didn't know where the club was going, who was taking air, who was coming in, and I really agree with what Barry says, and I think what Barry says, it highlights a lot of things that Andrew's come in and done, and especially the European mindset is something we've spoken about. I know Greg Taylor's been superb, Jota's come in superb, they've all been superb, but the European side, I thought this is where these guys prove how good they are. This is where we prove the Celtic squad that we've got. It's already done it in the SPL or Scotland. It's already done it in the cup competitions. Done okay in Europa League, but this is where now we need to go. This is Angie's team. This is Celtic, and for me, JP, so far, just on the performance, take away the points total, because we all know sometimes points totals, etc., don't always show what actually happens in the games. I believe we've competed, but we've actually went a step ahead, and we've nearly won the games. We nearly beat Madrid. Again, it's all down to final margins. Their class took over. In terms of Shakhtar, I believe that it was just the tiny wee things being clinical. And ahead of the Leipzig game, I think that's a massive game in the group, JP. I think that we need to, it's a must not lose, but I think if we've got any aspirations of qualifying, you need to go ahead and win, because then it gives you a massive bounce factor going to the game at Celtic Park. But I do believe, I still think it's still going to be a hard task for us to qualify, because it is still European football. But the way we're going, JP, you can't no believe in the team and think that it is doable.
No, definitely no, mate. This team, as Barry says, have got belief. Now, I believe the difference between Brendan Rodgers' Celtic to this Celtic team, as Brendan Rodgers' Celtic probably lost a lot of their games in the tunnel. They probably lost most of the games when they're looking across and they're seeing Neymar and they're going, oh no, fucking... This Celtic team are looking at Neymar going, it was like Jimmy Johnson and Betty Auld that when they came out in the Lisbon in 67 and with the Lisbon Lions, when they came out against Inter Milan. And you see Jimmy Johnson going like that to someone into Milan, you marking me, you marking me today. No bother, big man, I'll get you on the park, And it's that, a wee bit cocky, a wee bit, but it's a belief that you can go and mix it with anybody. You've got firm belief in yourself, and you go, well, do you know what? You're Arabic. I play with Croatia. We're not a bad team. We do quite well. We get to World Cups, we get to Euros, we do this, we do. So I think I'm good enough to play against anybody. Vinicius Junior, fuck it. He's only won the Champions League a couple of years, know what I mean? So I'll go and I'll mark him, no bother. I'll play against him. By the way, Vinicius Junior knew he was in a game. So this Celtic team, I've got firm belief that they can mix it with any of them. Doesn't matter who it was. They were all wanting Real Madrid, they were all wanting this, they were all, they all spoke highly about Real Madrid, and you know, it's a team that we've never played in the Champions League and in the European Cup, and they wanted it. They got it, and by God, did they make a great account of themselves. Albeit their quality took over. I'm not buying into that. They scored their 3 chances. Go back and watch the game. They scored with their 3 chances and we didn't. I'm disappointed we didn't at least get a point in that game. At least. Because in my opinion, 3-0, it was never a 3-0 game. Again. They never cut through us at will. They never done it repeatedly. They done it 3 times over the full game. We were nothing each at half time. They were frustrated. They kind of knew this team are. You know, Ancelotti made changes at half time. He took off Big Militao because he was a bomb scare.
Mm-hmm.
Total bomb scare. He was panicking. Every time the ball went near him, he put the ball out for a shy because Giakoumakis was running at him. Or he was putting his body in at him, and he was... I think Big Giakoumakis let him feel unwanced, and he just sort of, oh, what the fuck? These boys don't like you getting physical with them, mate. They don't like it. They want to be the technical guys that whip people and play around about them. They don't like it when you get in their faces. That's the Celtic team set about them. They get in about them. They made sure they Modric, Kroos, they knew they were in a game. Hatate and O'Reilly were right on top of them every time. Every time. Greg Taylor, he forced Valverde on the pitch. Valverde likes going to the byline and putting crosses in. He forced them inside. He was getting frustrated. And so was the team. So were they. So was their team. They spoke about it after the game. The Shakhtar game, as Barry said, well, I say earlier on there, and Barry touched on it, we imposed our style straight away. We took the game to them. It looks as if it's going to be a common theme. We're going to take the game to teams. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be a case of new guys, what we're used to seeing years. We're having to deal with other teams' threats. We're now of the opinion that you need to deal with us now. So we'll bring a game to use. Let's see how good you are. Yeah, you will have your wee spell and you will get the ball and you will do this. But you're going to have to deal with what we're bringing to the table. Is it a surprise? No, because we've become accustomed to watching that kind of football over the last 15 months. As you said there, Brian, it was going to be a test to see if we could go into, the Champions League in there. Lads, let's not take it away. That Celtic team, I know, minus a couple of players at the time, they took 9 points in the Europa League last season and we still never qualified. Mm-hmm. How unlucky was that? So, you can look at that whatever way you do, but considering the transition we were in last season, the way the team get flung together, and it was a full rebuild. We weren't just talking 1 or 2 players. What was it he brought in? About 15 players?
A lot, mate.
That's humongous. Look at the last 2, 3, over 3 transfer windows. Look at the amount of players he's brought to Celtic. Look at all the deadwood he's got out the door. Guys that were never going to cut the mustard. He's now replaced that with other quality. Celtic fans questioning, what the fuck's Aaron Moy going to bring to Celtic? Like, you having a laugh? Oh, he must be shite because we're getting him on a free. I've never heard the biggest load of absolute panties in all my life. Honestly, never know you're smiling, Barry. Honest to God, I've never heard the biggest load of shite in all my whole entire life. Some of the stuff that I've seen people coming away with this season. Aaron Moy must be shite if we're getting him for free. Mm-hmm. He's one of the main reasons as to why Australia have qualified for the World Cup. Because of him. Because his level of performance. In the last couple of games he's played in, he's come on. You've seen his quality. You've seen the calming influence he brought to the team the other night. Where we had another wee spell in the second half where we started no losing, but we started getting the ball away and doing daft things with the ball and he came on and just changed it all instantaneously. We started keeping the ball. He took off the pressure. Some of our other players on the park calmed it down a bit, get us going again with some passing moves. So, as I say, the quality, the like-for-like quality now that's in the team is absolutely frightening compared to what we're used to seeing in a Celtic team. Guys, it wasn't that long ago we were playing with a sole striker and it was Lewis Morgan. Now, I'm not slagging the boy Morgan. I'm just showing you the difference between the two squads. It wasn't long ago we were having to play in a Glasgow derby, Patrick Kamara up front. It wasn't long ago Barkas was our goalie. It wasn't long ago Shane Duffy was part of our team. Look where we've came from. And then have a think about, are you enjoying what you're seeing now?
It's a massive...
Because a lot of people have got small minds and small memories when it comes to the team now is totally night and day. And I agree wholeheartedly with Barry. We have got an elite manager. And by the way, guys, I'm going to say this. People might not like us. We're very, very lucky to have him. Very lucky. Everywhere he's been, he's turned it to gold. Everything he's touched, he's turned to gold. Every club and every team he's managed, he's been successful with. He's already been successful with us. He won his league at the first ask. When in a season that we were supposed to be going to be getting cancelled and ran out of tappy. We were supposed to be shite. We were supposed to be folding like a pack of cards, according to some people.
Mr. Dave King.
I call him a Lion King because everything he says, the Lion King, aye. Everything he says and his whole reign when he was here, Celtic won a quadruple treble. They weren't laughing now. No.
It's crazy, isn't it?
If we won one title, he says, they'll fold like a pack of cards. Well, they won one title and we've now took it back. So, we've won 10 out of the last 11. But apparently, we're the ones with the problem. We've conceded 2 goals in the league this season. And apparently, their defence is really leaky. Apparently, we nearly crumbled. We nearly crumbled in the second half the other night. We saved ourselves from a crumbling. I think there's some people out there need to go and learn about the game. And then come back and say what they're going to say. Because you make yourself look silly when you come away with total nonsense. And you put it out there in headlines. It's, like I say, is half the shite to talk isn't true. The other half is hard to believe.
But like we've spoke about JP, and I know Barry spoke about it as well in previous podcasts, that we have said he's a elite manager and what he's doing and what he's done. And again, fans are not going to hear it, but he is going to have suitors eventually. There's already been suitors about with Brighton. Don't know how reliable that is, but he's going to have teams after him. That is just football. There's going to be guys after Jota eventually, Vickers, Janovic. Everybody in the squad is going to get suitors because they're doing so well. That's just the way football is. And
John Suitors.
Aye, John Suitors, aye, but he's in the bench, and he's an injury table, I think, when he looks at it. So, but I think in terms of Barry, I think exactly what JP says. I think we've got a very, 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 very good manager here. Do I go as far as says better than Brendan Rodgers? He's definitely surpassed him the new. But I still believe, obviously, Rodgers doesn't do very well at Leicester. But again, people don't like talk about him. But I still believe Brendan Rodgers is one of the best managers in European football, if not one of the best in British football. He's just not went back to this season at Leicester, and it's obviously went downhill. But in terms of us, Barry, and before we go into the St Mirren game, I think that overall, I'm agreeing with 2 especially Ange, Barry, that it's just a total mind shift to where we've been. And like JP says, he signed Aaron Moy. We all done our research on Aaron Moy. We all know about Aaron Moy for playing in the Premier League in the UK and what he's done for Australia. He's a top player. We all know he's a top player, but some fans don't do their research. Some fans in Scottish football, why is he signing for Celtic. He didn't do well at China. He's not done this. Do your research and you'll see. Do research on podcasts, listen to journalists. He was only come here to really get fit and he was going to be a baller. You've seen him playing against Shakhtar. He came on, he settled the team down against Madrid. He played well. Every game he's played, apart from his first game in the friendly, we looked a bit off it. He's been brilliant. Again, if he plays tomorrow, there's no doubt you're going to get a quality performance off him, the effort off him. So I think overall, Barry, like JP says, in terms of Ange and obviously moving tomorrow, you just can't question the manager because everything he's done so far, apart from maybe like we've said the Bodo game and maybe the game management against Leverkusen, but you've seen now European terms, Barry, he's totally, you can see he's learned for that.
Well, when it comes to Ange Postecoglou, I could talk all day. Guys, I could do a podcast just on Ange and talk about that guy and his qualities, his attributes, and the turnaround and how we play our football and how.
Let's do it then. We're staying on to midnight. Yes, brilliant. Let's tell the viewers now. Nice wee surprise for them.
Right, I'm good to go, but no, I mean, obviously we've said this on repeat about his recruitment and his ability to get into different markets and bring players in, but also you marry that up with his ability to spot a good character and bring people into the club who are going to mix well and create a good atmosphere. He talks about culture a lot, so it's not just about the players' abilities on the pitch. He's looking at a lot more than just that. He's looking at, can they play for a big club? Can they live with the expectations of the Celtic fans? Do they have the character to be part of a squad? If they get the hunger to keep learning and keep developing, are they able to play the style of football I want to play and keep playing that way? Because it's a taxing way of football that we play. That's why he uses his substitution so early, and he always invariably uses all his subs, because you're asking a lot for players to play at that kind of pace for the full game. So, and when you compare it to Brendan Rodgers, it's hard not to compare it to Brendan Rodgers because of the success that Brendan Rodgers had with us. But I just think that there's more excitement to the way this team play. There's definitely a higher ceiling, right? There's more to come for this team, right? You can feel that probably we're maybe reaching the halfway point with Ange's vision for the club and how well his team can play. I don't think this team are playing any more than 50% of what they're capable of. That's just going to be through time and experience. Playing in the Champions League, playing your style of football in the Champions League takes courage. Coming through that and winning and performing is only going to make those players even better, and it's only going to make our style of play more efficient. So I think that's what he's got in his favour. I think his connection with the fans is impeccable. I think he's done his homework on the club. I think he understands the fans. He understands that this is a different type of football club in terms of, we're fanatic. The Celtic fans are fanatic. We live and breathe our club. And he gets that, he understands that. And in terms of, the game tomorrow, I don't actually think there'll be a load of changes. I could see maybe 3 or 4, but because the international football's coming up, I don't think it's really necessary. It makes a whole raft of changes. But as you guys have said, see if it does, I'm pretty confident that these players will come in and they'll have the same standards. I don't know if any of you saw this. I saw a wee thing on TikTok. It's Celtic are releasing some footage in the near future. Ange and the players, some inside, in the dressing room and things like that. There's a wee snippet, and it's Callum McGregor in the dressing room.
I've seen that, mate. Aye.
And he's telling the player, and he's talking about standards. We don't drop.
That's a DVD, boys. That's a DVD. It's coming out, mate. A chess. Aye. Right. There's a DVD coming. I think it's in 2 or 3 weeks' time. It's out, mate, in October.
Right. I look forward to that. So it gives you the insight into what's going on. it's what Callum McGregor's saying we don't drop our standards. And look, our standards did drop 18 months ago, 2 years ago, and they dropped dramatically. But the standard's set, and it's the same for whoever plays. So, looking forward to the game tomorrow. My expectation is that Celtic are going to play their football, the full match. We're going to go for goals. We're going to have some flair players. Hopefully there's going to be some good goals. But you go into games now with Celtic, it's not an arrogance, but it's just a confidence. You get into that confidence, you get into knowing for a fact that the team are not going to drop the standards. They're not going to have an half day. They're not going to have a day where they're just not up for it. That's not going to happen. For St Mirren to get anything at that game, they're going to have to. They're going to have to go to the well and back, because it's a guarantee that Celtic will show up, the players will perform, it will be an attack style of football. We definitely will create a host of chances, and the likelihood is that we're going to take a number of them and win the game convincingly. And as I said, I'm not being arrogant about that. I'm just going by the evidence of what we've seen so far this season. We've conceded 2 goals, as JP said. The team has looked formidable from start to finish. And just finish by saying I'd like to see Haksabanovic start the game. I know he only played 45 minutes. He's probably not 100% match fit. But my God, for what I've saw of that guy, he looks a talent.
I would agree, mate. I think he fits the mould of Celtic. And in terms of St Mirren, Jason, I agree with Barry that I think it was actually Hugh Keevins actually said it in Super School the other day. He says that tomorrow Celtic turned up, Celtic won. He says St Mirren run basically in for a field day. And I'm going to put this out the news, Jason, right? People might think I'm jumping the gun, but I'm seriously thinking that we could go unbeaten this season. I'm being really, really honest here.
I agree.
I was trying to hold.
I
was trying to hold back, Jason, and no jump the gun. But again, people, I've watched them today because I'm in the house. I've watched them this season. They can't beat us now. No other team is going to be able to beat us unless we have an incredibly half day. We've got a better team, in my opinion, than the team that Rodgers was here, who went invincible.
Yep.
I don't think some of the teams are as good as even when we played there. The teams in the lower division, the lower half of the table. Who is going to beat us, Jason? Again, I could be talking about my arse and we could get beat tomorrow, and that puts us away to bed. But in terms of what I'm seeing, like Barry says, you've no divine right to win any game of football. But
I said, fuck, now the 2 years of jinxes, he's saying, we're not going to have an half day. You're saying we're going to go a season unbeaten. Tomorrow we're going to get fucked.
But like Barry says, and I've said before in this previous pod with JP, you have no divine right to win any game of football. But like Barry says, when you've got the feeling in the air, the players are performing well, the manager's confident, the fans are confident in Jason. Tomorrow, let's be fair, if we don't win tomorrow, you're going to be like, come on, fuck. That's just the way we are now.
I'm texting you to tell you to delete this video.
Aye. I don't think, Jason, that we'll have. I know we do nothing last year. I just hope it's not the same again where we pound them, and they just defend for their lives. I just can't see it. I really can't. I don't think he'll make too many changes, Jason, like Barry says. I think he might make 1 or 2. Obviously, if it's maybe injuries or whatever else. But I think in terms of tomorrow, I just think, again, Jason, if we turn up to the game, there is only one winner, because St Mirren can't matches, Rangers can't matches, nobody can matches the way we are at the moment. I just think, Jason, like Barry says and JP says, whoever we play, you're going to expect to perform. If it's Aaron Moy, if it's Turnbull, if it's Ralston at left back, whoever plays, I just feel that it's going to be very hard, Jason, for St Mirren to stop us tomorrow.
Nah, I agree. I think in a way, a few changes. I think Turnbull come in. I think maybe I think I agree with Barry. I think Haksabanovic will start. I'd really actually like to see the new Danish boy. I'd like to see him maybe get a wee run at see what he can do. But if we turn up tomorrow, it's 4 or 5. Mirren, they were on a wee bit of a run there, but I'm sure they get beat last week or the week before. they'll just do their typical. They'll just sit and defend and try and catch on the counter attack, which I think that suits us. I think Ange just worked out how to break these games down. Do you know what I mean? He's worked out how to break if they've got 11 men sitting behind him, he knows how to do it. Because we're just relentless. But I do agree. I agree. We've got an elite manager, and we are very, very lucky to have him. I said it before on pods. It's how quick he's turned this around.
Mm.
Because you think back to that qualifier last year against Michelin when we had that young boy. Can't remember the young boy Murray. Dane Murray playing at the back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And I was, even with that transfer window in the summer, I was still a bit sceptical. I was like that. I don't know if every signing is going to come in and it's going to have the effect it's had, but it has. But Aaron Moy's shite apparently, so you know. But I think the Mora, it probably is a bit arrogance, but I can't see us, unless we have a monumental collapse and forget how to play football. You know, their back four isn't dealing with our front three, not on a month of Sundays. Even if Mirren and Forrest had to play, it's still too much for them.
I would say so. I think JP, like Jason says, we've said it in previous pods, JP, that even the guys who are on the bench, even though I might not be James Forrest's biggest fan, I don't agree with he's getting his new deal. But if he came in and played, I'm not going to be off what Forrest's playing, because he's still good enough to go and play against St Mirren. You've still got animation to go and create chances, because you know the guys up front are going to score goals. And it's no arrogance, JP. Like Barry says and Jason says, it's no arrogance. It's just you're just very confident in knowing what your squad's capable of. That's the fact. It's no arrogance. It's just knowing that you know if you turn up against St Mirren, if they turn up to their game, you turn to their game, there's only one winner. It's the same with Rangers at Celtic Park.
But what is St Mirren's A game? They sit behind the ball and just try and catch on the counter attack.
I would say just defend, mate. That's a bit. It doesn't.
A defence can only take that much.
It can only take so much.
So
see, the only thing is, I know we all agree, right? At any level, it doesn't matter if it's East Stirling, St Mirren, Barcelona. If somebody defends against you and defends, it is hard to break down. As much as we are very, very good going forward, eventually something's going to take. But sometimes, like we've seen last year, St Mirren just defended, and it was one of the games. It just to defend so well, we just couldn't get past them. You're hoping that doesn't happen again, but it can happen. And like I've said to you, JP, as well, that sometimes these teams, these are like cup finals for these teams. It's a home tie, it'll be on TV, the fans are there to come watch their team play. Celtic and Rangers, when they go to these teams, as a cup final, they've got to defend for lives, they've got to attack for lives when they get a chance. They've got to score when they get a chance, because the chance for Celtic conceding 3 or 4 chances against St Mirren, again, like if they're a bad off, it's not going to happen. That's just the way we are now. But overall, JP, in terms of the Mora, it's no arrogance, as Barry says. You're just very, very aware of what your team can do. If they turn up, it's no a foregone conclusion, but you're very, very disappointed if you don't get the win, because you should be turning up. Again, no offence to these teams, Celtic should be going to St Mirren in Ross County and winning. But we all know that doesn't always happen in football. But in terms of Mora, you've got to be confident. You've had a good result against Shakhtar, a good performance. You've carried on the momentum from the Madrid game, which again, you might have lost again, JP, but you've had a very good performance. And again, I'm with the fees. I'm very confident, JP, of the Mora, because why shouldn't you be? You're the champions as well. You're the champions. You've had a brilliant start, obviously no points wise, but performance wise. You've seen what you've done this year. You've seen what St Mirren have done. So, in terms of the stats, in terms of what you've seen, JP, there is only one winner in the Mora. If we turn up, that is the result. Simple as that.
Absolutely. It's like you says, it's an overwhelming confidence that you've got in them, because it's alright a team setting up and defending against you. This Celtic team have got a lot of firepower, man. They've got a lot of answers, a lot of firepower. under Brendan Rodgers, a lot of the ball was going side to side and it was going back and side. This team play at a pace. They play at a certain tempo that it doesn't matter what the other team does. Before you know it, you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 of an onslaught running at you full pelt, and the ball's moving in between them at the same time. You've got guys like Hatate. I mean, Greg Taylor's playing like fucking caca now. He's picking passes, going, but how the fuck did you do that? Honestly, see that pass the other night through the gap to Giakoumakis for that chance?
Unbelievable.
I was like, how the fuck did you get that ball through there? He's picking, and then you look at some of his distribution. Didn't come on for the first goal of the ball in Maeda.
Yeah.
Some of his passing's been unbelievable this season.
See, apart from Real Madrid, every game this season we've scored in the first 20 minutes.
That's right, mate. Aye.
Well, there's that element as well, Jace. Celtic are going right away and they're getting, they're starting the game fast. And it's as if that's the instruction to go and try and take the game away from the other team. So that when we get to the second half, as Barry says, when you've went to that full throttle and then you're bringing on subs to go again. That's what's, see the 5 subs, that's what's killing teams in our us. That's what's going to kill teams. The fact that we've got 5 subs coming off the bench and they're all like for like quality with it starting. So it's no hindering Celtic. So Celtic aren't bringing off Giakoumakis and bringing on Big Bio. Or they're not bringing on fucking Patrick Famala or Pavel Brozek or
Bangura,
or Bangura or Amido Baldi. It's no guys like that are coming off the bench anymore.
He was so flat-footed, it was no funny, man.
No, it was. He made a run at Fir Hill, and I think he's still running up Mary Hill Road now.
Between him and Big Linda Snow, man.
Remember him? That's another one. We could do a podcast on that just to see all the old players that Celtic have brought in. But that's the thing. The team they know, it doesn't matter if it's O'Reilly, Hatate, Turnbull, Moy, Abelgard. I mean, I've not even seen that guy. Mm-hmm. And I reckon he could come in tomorrow and he'd look like Zidane. Because it just, again, there's an overwhelming confidence in Ange's recruitment as well. Doesn't matter what team he plays, as you say, Brian. We were all kind of moaning about Forrest not being maybe the same player he's shown before. But if he plays tomorrow, you're like, here we go. The last game he played for us, he scored.
Mm-hmm. 14 consecutive seasons or something he scored in.
What's that?
Scored in 14 consecutive seasons or something.
No, that's phenomenal itself as well. I mean, he scored against Ross County. That was the last time we seen him.
Even play that bad?
Tell a lie. I was watching the game on the telly the other night. The camera swung by the bench, and I saw him sitting talking to somebody. That's it. But apart from that, the last time I seen him before that was Ross County. This is the thing I know. The squad is that fucking strong. He's not even getting in it, and he's one of our seasoned pros. He's a guy that's been there for a long time.
He's not even getting off the bench either.
He's not even getting off the bench, and we're playing that well.
JP.
What, Jace?
Ange likes him. I think Ange rates him.
Ange likes James McCarthy, mate, and he's not even getting a game of 5 most days with the team. So, but somewhere along the lines, again, like Idaguchi, like McCarthy, in my opinion, they're probably the only maybe Forrest as well, because he's not playing a lot. They're the only non-contributors to properly contributing to the team. Only because they're not getting a game.
Oh man, maybe I know.
What's that?
Bernabei, maybe I know.
But he's not getting a game because he's got Roberto Carlos playing in front of him at left back now.
He might play tomorrow.
Because that's what's happened. They've signed Bernabei and he's turned into Roberto Carlos.
But that's something as well.
Get my fucking jersey.
But see the
He
fact
wasn't actually keeping him out and we paid $3.5 million for him.
But that's what I'm saying. We signed Juranovic last season. And Ralston turned into Cafu.
Ralston can't get a sniff, but
he can't get in the team either. He's not even getting any team on the Xbox.
But this is the guys, he's signing guys as well that are pushing guys, like even Seagrass.
That's what I'm saying, Ryan. So he's
Right.
signed. Maybe that's what he needed. Maybe that's. I don't believe for a minute Greg Taylor's just took his game to the next level. Because Greg Taylor showed signs of this last season. He was excellent last season for a humongous part of that season. After his shoulder injury, I thought Greg Taylor was fucking sublime when he came back into that team. But what he's done this season is Andrew's used. He talks about it in one of the interviews when he signed Harry Kewell. I like to keep everybody on their toes. Nobody's comfortable. They see changes happening. McManus is not there anymore. All the players have come back to training. Harry Kewell's walked in. Now, I mean, could you picture being one of us being a squad member of that team and you walk through the door, mate, and Harry Kewell's standing there ready to take a training session? You'd be like, oh my God, man. Because don't get me wrong. Don't tell me James Forrest and Callum McGregor and so many young boys that were boys at the time. He's a guy that they'd have been looking up to going, what a player he is. He's one of the elite players that used to come to Celtic Park and there was a big queue right down to Billy McNeil's statue wanting his fucking jersey at the end of the game.
100%, man.
So he's an elite. He was elite as well in the game. So you imagine walking through the doors next minute, he's a coach. Everybody's like, there's Big McManus. Oh, he's not there now, he's done with the B team. What? Who decided that? Ange. All right, okay. Nobody's arguing. Nobody's going to fight with Ange. They're not going to argue with him. It's the same as the reporter the other night, going to talk louder. Shut up. That was all. Now that's what he done was merely translated. Shut your mouth. Don't interrupt me when I'm talking. How dare you? And put it a bit more diplomatic. You concentrate what you're doing. You try and get through this and get to. And that all came, guys. I think all that was all misconstrued as well. We're saying he doesn't take any shite. That all came off the back of the day before the game. He's sitting with big gains. And I don't know if he's watched that presser as well.
Aye.
See, every time man said something, that guy spoke for nearly 25 minutes after it. In a language that none of us can understand. Now, I don't know who he was. Never seen a guy's face. But every time that guy spoke, he spoke in his own language. And it went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And Ange was only maybe getting a 1 or 2 line answer. So you're like, even Ange was looking at Ange at one point going, what the fuck's he saying when you only said that? As if, fucking hell. But that all came off the back of that. And then when it wasn't the first time the guy interrupted Ange and says, got to speak louder. No, got to turn your fucking hearing aid up so you can hear me. Because everybody else can hear me. And that's how you heard them saying, did you hear me? Everything all right there? Like, shut up. For the next time you'll know better in my press conference. Simple.
I don't put up with that.
No, there's no. Alex Ferguson used to sack people, mate. He used to ban people. He sacked the BBC and all that for donkey's years. All because they used to do that with him. They used to interrupt him and speak over him. Well, don't do that to me. No. And there was videos of Alex Ferguson actually saying, who is that guy? Like, you could hear him saying to his press officer, who is that guy? Right, he's not going to be in the next press conference, okay? Make sure that doesn't happen. So he's well within his rights to go, shut up when I'm talking. So, but no, I thought that was brilliant. And again, that all comes down to the way he carries himself, the way he is. No, right for day one, he was put down by our media. Right for day one, wee things were flung at him. Even the new things are asked. It's as if they're trying to get him to say something bad about the club.
They're still trying to head.
They're still trying to know. They must have updated that thing about a banner to him about 4 different ways. And his answer never changed. His answer stayed the same. Their message is very clear to the supporters, blah, blah, blah. But are you not worried that it overshadows the team's performance? Now, you've seen Ange looking at the guys have to say, you're not a full kettle, mate. Like, there is something wrong with you. And Ange isn't like, but he'll stick up for the team. He'll stick up for the fans. He'll stick up for everything to do with Celtic. And he said that in his first fan media interview when he was unveiled as manager, and he's stuck to it, guys. Everything he said he was going to do, it's done. And we all, no, he he was laughed at for the beginning. Look at the comments, go back, look at all the numpties that all hang me down, run him down. Alan Brazil. Well, he'll be a great manager. Hey, you're fucking eating humble pie now if you're not bevied. Bet you're doing this, bet you're doing that. Well, he'll be a great manager. Because he never had his, what was it, his A licence, his proper...
His B licence.
There you go then. So...
But he didn't
had to do it when he came.
In his career, so...
That guy came all the way here for Japan, on his Todd, didn't have his own backroom staff, didn't want his own backroom staff, decided to keep the backroom staff at Celtic. But he turned every one of them, and he says to them, he says it live, doesn't he, in a press conference, you're going to get on this bus with me, this is where we're going, and if you don't like it, you try and resist me, you'll go on another bus and you'll go somewhere else. Simple. And every one of them have all bought into what he's doing. Now there's nobody questioning John Kennedy. Now there's nobody questioning Gavin Stratton. Nobody's bringing up the fact that he's not got a laptop anywhere. It's an iPad he's using now. Obviously, I brought it up now. Maybe I've brought attention to that. I don't know. But
talking about being going back.
He doesn't have a laptop anymore. He's got an iPad. They bought me an iPad for Christmas. It's in the advert. People weren't paying attention. Go and look back at the advert. He got a new iPad for his Christmas. I thought that was quite nice. Kyogo bought Ange a new jumper. So it was Kyogo bought Ange a black jumper. That's how he was wearing it last season. There's another one as well. Kyogo's learning English.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Done his first interview during the week here in English. Superb. He's took on everything about the culture of the club. He's fell in love with the club. You can see it. He's at the Celtic Music Hall the other night. There was a few of them at that. Ask Kabanovic. Barry, you mentioned him earlier. Big Welsh, Stephen Welsh. There's a boy I know who's dripping Celtic, everything about him. Can't get in the team, but he just loves being part of, because they all know we're on a journey. They know this is a roller coaster and we're on this journey. And I think they've all sort of been told behind the scenes, this is where we want to get to. And that's how many of them are going, oh, do you know what? I'm fucking fed up. I'm not playing. I'm not doing this. They're all sitting tight, buckled in, going, right, there we go. On to the next one, on to the next one. Because they know they'll get game time. You listen to players who've signed after a 3-minute conversation with the manager, give me the contract. Give me the contract.
Matt O'Reilly said that. He was going to go
Big
to
Secret said that, I know. Starfelt says it.
Matt O'Reilly.
Kyogo says it. Kyogo said it. As much as he played against these teams in Japan, but he would love to play under that manager. So, and then the Scottish boys, Greg Taylor and Ralston and David Turnbull and Callum McGregor, even James Forrest, they've all took it. They've all took him on board. Joe Hart, I couldn't believe what he was telling me the first time I spoke to him.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Hart's actually said on an English podcast, I thought he was fucking mental, talking about the manager, talking about the way he wanted to play. He said, I'd never seen anything like that before in my life. He says, and watching it all unfolding now at training and games, and the way he says it's unbelievable. He says, I'm so privileged to be back playing at that level. I never ever thought it was going to be possible. Guys, he nearly retired for the game
I said that, aye.
Under 2 years ago. Because he hadn't happened to him at Tottenham. He nearly chucked it.
What a keeper, man.
So, well, that's what I'm saying. He is a keeper. So, with that attitude.
That's another guy.
What age is he? 35?
36, I think.
36, I think. He's no long term, 36.
He could play at Celtic for another 4 years, easily.
But that's another guy that's...
Look what happened when I was 36, man. I'm telling you, by the way.
But that's another guy...
in Ken Dodd's class at school.
That's another guy that's joined the journey, like you say, JP, the journey, all you guys are on. They're believing in the manager, they're believing in the fans, the culture. They've all bought into what needs to be successful at Celtic. And I think, Barry, that's a big thing, and it leads on to Namora. Your overall thoughts, obviously, in recent days in Namora. But I do believe that what JP says, he's spot on, and they're bought into a culture. It's not just a club, it's the full thing that when you're at Celtic, you've got to win, you've got to appreciate the fans, you've got to kind of be privileged to realise where you are and who you're playing for. And it's not just a football club, it's as a family and a community. And You don't get that when you go to like places like Brighton or your West Hams. Them big clubs in their own right, but you don't get. It's just when you come here, it's totally different. And so many people say this, Barry, when they come to Celtic, even Rangers, players say Rangers, this is when you realise how big these clubs are just because they're in Scotland. But again, Barry, the journey that some of these players are on, hopefully the journey tomorrow continues with 3 points.
Yeah, I hope so, Ryan. I'm looking forward to watching the game. It's an early kick-off as well, so when we get up in the morning, we're not going to have to wait too long. And that's just how it's been since Ange Postecoglou came in. Give or take his first half a dozen games or whatever it was. But after that, it's just been, by God, I can't wait to see this team play, because it's the patterns I play. It's, JP mentioned that it's Greg Taylor playing killer passes. It's Jota going on mazy runs. It's Kyogo scoring 25-yarders. It's just breathtaking at times. And I'm going to stick to my point. I believe that this Celtic team, in terms of how they can perform and the levels that they can reach, I believe they're probably about 50%. I genuinely believe that this team, scary mate, I know. I genuinely believe that this team under Ange has got many more gears it can go through, and it's just if Celtic are refined, they're in front of goal, if they become even more clinical, which obviously we've all said is going to be important for Champions League, that takes you up another level.
Mm-hmm.
If you get Jota, who's still a bit raw by all accounts, if Jota just sharpens up maybe his final pass, or maybe he hits a shot rather than by another man, it's just wee things like that. Maeda, if he takes more of his chances, this team can just keep going from strength to strength. And I say that with full confidence because the guy who's running it all, Ange Postecoglou, isn't going to let up. He's not going to change his expectations. He's not going to get comfortable. In fact, I saw his interview done. Did you see that he done with Big Sutton for BT?
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant insight into his mindset and Postecoglou. And that was one of the things he mentioned. He likes it when people are uncomfortable. He wants the players, he wants the staff to be uncomfortable. He likes that wee bit of mystery because it keeps people on their toes, And so I just buzzing for tomorrow. I'll get up early in the morning, do the family thing, and then they'll leave me in peace. I'll watch again with my two boys and just hope for plenty of goals and an exciting game. And then we've got the wee break to come. So looking forward to it, right?
I think, Jason, Barry's talking about getting the fire up for in the morning, innit? You fire up, cup of tea, cup of coffee, ready for the game. But like Barry says, Jason, I'm agreeing with Barry that every game that you're looking forward to, it doesn't matter if it's Real Madrid or it's St Mirren, you're looking forward to seeing the team play because you're expecting goals, brilliant performances. Again, it's
Greg Taylor's killer passes.
Greg Taylor's
Yes.
amazing party. By the way, he's a shark, isn't he? Greg.
We gave the number 10 jersey. He's a playmaker now.
He's just class, isn't he, man?
But in terms of the Mora, Jason, like Barry,
he's killing Ryan's aura.
No,
honestly,
listen,
he's totally killing Ryan's aura.
In terms of Greg Taylor, I did say that if I'm a big believer, I did comment on what happens, and at the time when I was saying about he was not doing very well, he wasn't doing very well. And I did say, I've always said if somebody does well, I'll go back on it. I'm not Kenny Miller. I'll go back on what I'm saying. I don't stick to Barry Ferguson. I don't stick to silly statements when I don't need to. I'll be honest, Greg Taylor's been phenomenal. But what I said at the time, I thought was right. He wasn't good enough. I still thought Ralston, for European-wise, they had to step up. But you look at them now, they've got to say, Jason, well, they've proved me wrong. They're doing well. So I've got to say, continue. Please don't go back to that. Continue, because I want to praise people. I don't want to go on podcasts or in a pub or group chats and slaughter players. I want to praise players. I want players to do well and my team to win.
Is it an appropriate time for me to say Told you so.
No, really, he's only played 2 games Europe, mate. He could have a halt. He could be hopeful.
Come on,
I'm only joking.
I must admit though, right, when Ange came in and it was like talking about players to get ready, I would have said that I would have been like that. Well, Greg Taylor would have been one of the first. I would have said we would have got shot.
I wouldn't have said get rid of him, but he did need competition. I did say that. I did say signing Bernabeu was going to be good because I did believe Bernabeu. I still believe Bernabeu was getting signed to be long term, but now that he's signed, because you don't sign a guy for $3.5 million. Well, Ange won. I don't think if he didn't have a plan for him to be in the squad to play. But the fact that Greg Taylor, for me, Jason, I think he's seen him going right. He's come with Argentina. He's had a cat for Argentina. He's probably at a high level. He's still a young boy, right enough. And he's maybe seen him in training and he might have thought, this boy's good. I need to continue to push on and push on. And whatever Ange's done in other day at training, Jason, it's worked because he has been superb.
But do you think, with the Taylor thing, sorry to interrupt, right, but
no, you're not.
The whole thing with Taylor was that look who he was replacing.
See, I don't. Me personally,
Kieran Tierney, right? So no matter who took that left position, mate, I'm sitting there thinking I'm like that. Like,
you're probably right, Jason. To some fans,
Kieran Tierney.
To some fans, I would say so.
If he keeps going the way he's going,
never mind KT. We've got GT now.
GT. In terms of what you're saying, I agree with Jason. I think some fans will. I think Kieran Tierney will always get compared until somebody screws him, right? But Greg Taylor is definitely progressing. Me personally, I've never.
Guys, he's only 23.
I can't believe that.
I've never compared him to Greg Taylor. I just focus on what a player does at the moment in that game. We had
that dinner lady at left back fucking the season. It was behind closed doors, didn't we? That fucking lax out or something.
Dinner lady.
There or not?
Dinner lady. But I, Jason, get to the Morris game, mate, because we're laying on it, mate. But the Morris game, mate, what's your thoughts on obviously the overall European side so far?
I think the Morris 4 or 5. I think, to be honest with you, I think we'll just be. I've got a game tomorrow at 10 in the morning, so I need to get up early, go and play that, and I'll catch the game when I come back. But I don't look at St Mirren and think, oh no, we're going to struggle here. So I'm quite confident with that, and I think in the Europe front we're learning every game. I think the next 3 games, if we can take 7 points for it, I would say that should guarantee us 3rd place at worst. And I honestly don't think dropping into Europa League would be a bad thing. I think that maybe we could maybe go quite far in it. If we dropped into the Europa League, just my opinion.
Well, we did say
as well, Ryan. I think I do agree with you that I think we will go unbeaten this year.
I'm not one to again. I've been wanting to hold it back, but for what I've seen for our team, listen, it's fucking unbelievable. We done it once. To do it again would be it'd be a miracle. It would be a miracle. I know we've got a better team. I'm just looking at what is in the league, JP, like Jason says. I'm not going to say. I'm just going to put it out there. I just think the way we're playing, if your nearest rivals can't get near you, then who is going to bother you? Because I do believe where we are now in 2 months' time, like Barry says, we're going to be better in 2 months' time. I know there's a World Cup coming up, but Rangers always go away in January, and something happens to them, and so they'll be even worse than they are now. So we'll turn up in January well prepared. And I do believe in terms of the European side, Jason, I do think we'll get better. But yourself, JP, you've got the last word of the show, mate. What's your thoughts on the game tomorrow and obviously overall the last few days?
I just think you were saying holding it back. Andrew's been doing that all season, I think, because we've got the Celtic have got the new souped up model, the GTI. And he's going, what's that? The Greg Taylor injection.
Here's a question.
It's a souped up model, ready to go full pelt against anybody. Overall, mate, you're going into the game running. You're feeling the worst for St Mirren. You're running what the score's got to be.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not fearing for St Mirren. I want 10 off.
No, but I know, but you're kind of fearing the worst for St Mirren, aren't you? You're kind of see, the thing is, guys, I don't know if it's just me. See Robinson, every time he plays against us, he always tries to, his teams try to play. So I think that might help
Good
us
manager,
the more
by the
as
way.
well.
He's a good manager, him.
No, I'm not saying he's not. You see, his Motherwell team tried to play against us. All right, they get scalped a lot of the times when they played against us.
The manager when we drew when it was 4 each, remember? They were beating us 3-1 or something.
Aye, no, he was the manager in them when Big Louis Mock ran him up.
What a game of football.
I think it was him that signed Chris Humphries, that wasn't it?
Aye.
No, he was the manager. But his teams try and play against us. And that's the thing as well. He's no fear to he's another manager that likes his teams to play. And he's brought in some players who can play. You know, they can play. But when I saw the day that they've got, I think they've got a couple of injuries. And no, as I say, tomorrow, I think the game I think Celtic will take care of business tomorrow, to be fair. I think I saw about setting standards, as we said earlier. Barry mentioned McGregor. And by the way, he was fucking clear with his instructions, was he no? I don't know if any of you have ever even gone to the games and watching the games on the telly. I don't know if the cameras on the telly games pan in that close. You ever seen McGregor in the warm-up with him?
Aye, he's very vocal.
He's fucking talking to them like a manager. He's pointing and he's doing all this. And so that isn't just a one-off. Like you were saying that with Buzz. But just...
Did Angelo say that, but that he doesn't really go into the changing room or that?
Aye, he lets it play.
No,
Aye.
He sets the room up the cell and reads his paper.
He just comes down with like 10 minutes to go and he'll say what he needs to say and then he gets back out. That's fucking unbelievable, man.
He doesn't spend a lot of time with him, as in, like, in a social aspect either. He doesn't...
He said that's the changing room, that's their department, so...
Well, that's what he says. He said, I remember being a player myself, he says, and the last thing you hated, if you were, whether you were good or bad or whatever, was a manager constantly in your face. He said, so I kind of let them. And I would imagine, guys, right, we've all played the game. We've all played with teams. We've all done this. See your senior guys in the squad who've been there a long time, and they take care of that. They take care of the dressing room. Mm-hmm. Realistically, by now, they should know the way Ange sets up, the way he wants to play. They've got John Kennedy now who probably get into the dressing room and do a wee bit of talking to them, and Harry Kewell probably does a bit as well. They know what Ange expects. They know, and by God, do they know? Because as Barry touched on it earlier, McGregor fucking makes sure they know. What a captain he's became, guys, in the last year and a bit. What a captain he's became. Yes. The role itself is totally, he's took it on. He's a different type of captain for Scott Brown, which is fair enough because the two of them are different people. But all the players, they're all looking at him that, you know, you can tell they all respect him. They're all looking at him and they are getting inspiration from him because he goes out on the park and he sets the tone. Look at the game at Ibrox, the 2-1 game last season. Yeah. He dragged us back into that fucking game after we went 1-down. He takes that ball and he makes that run. He creates that wee bit of, you know, energy that was lacking in that moment. And McGregor's good at spotting that as well with the team. He's good at spotting the players who maybe don't look like they're buzzing and maybe are a bit more reserved. He's right into them and he's like, that is a strike, what's going on? What fucking... And I love that. And he makes sure that they all know there's a clear message and a clear vision as to what's expected. Because the manager, he's not the type of manager to suffer fools. And I think if players were deliberately not trying, or I don't want to say deliberately not trying, but players went after the boil and weren't weren't performing to the levels he was expecting, then he would quickly change the squad. You would see other players coming into the team, and they players would be sitting on the bench or sitting up in the stone or sitting watching the game in the house with their mates, or, you know, to that effect. Because Ange, I think the mantra is we never stop. So I think that's what we're seeing in games now. See with that mic'd up video at the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
Get it in your head, you know, we'll never stop. If the other team want to stop, that's fucking fine. We'll take advantage. Rangers switched off.
He got laughed at for that.
He did. Rangers switched off for the second goal. We played that quick ball. Fuck it, it was a goal. They switched off. We kept going. So, how many goals have we conceded? We scored by doing that. The kick-off against Hibs in the final. Hibs switched off. We play a couple of passes. Bozzy out to Kyogo. It's a goal. One each. They're too busy. Their minds are too busy celebrating up the corner. Then again, they think they're bringing on a sub, so their players all start switching off, looking to the bench. Roger hits a quick free kick. Before you know it, Kyogo's loved that big boy Macy, and he's running away celebrating with the fans. We never stop, guys. It's a clear message. Teams are saying they know how to play against us. Certain individuals think other managers have got to suss. See, being able to do it in theory and get out onto that pattern doing it when we're playing at that kind of speed and tempo. It's two fucking different stories. It's night and day between one another. Being able to do it in an auditorium room where you're all sitting having a team meeting saying, right, this is how we're going to set up, and then being on the park watching it happening. Look how quickly at the home games now the ball boys are getting Joe Hart the ball back. The other teams try to set and get back in. Before you know it, we played a couple of passes, we're at the 18-yard box on the opposite side. It's so fast. The team is so dynamic now. Andy Halliday's said it a few times. It's the fastest thing he's seen. Mm-hmm. Never played against them like that before. Charlie McGrew says it. Celtic team's the best Celtic team he's seen in 25 years. Frightening. He played in a quality Celtic team, and he's coming away with that. He played in a successful Celtic team, and he's saying things like that. Gordon Strachan sitting in the studio at the Real Madrid game saying it's the best thing he's seen. They're a better team than he managed.
It's the best Celtic team I've seen in my life.
It's no coincidental, guys. Take confidence for it. Take the positives for it. It isn't coincidental. We're not the only ones saying this. Mm-hmm. They're not the only ones saying this. It's a collective in your support. It's a collective in the punditry. I'm talking about the ones that are real, not the ones that sit and make up shit that other teams are going to suss out and then double down on it after they see it. When it totally gets slapped right out the water. We're no silly. We maybe haven't played at elite level, but we know the game. We're no daft. We know the game. We know how the game's played. We can see things happening. We're honest enough to say what's happening. No hiding behind other things and, I'm not actually say that in case I upset somebody. No, something needs to be said, It's that simple. So, the moral line, I think there's only going to be one winner, to be honest with you. How many that may be, will be down to what Celtic want to control the game with. Doesn't matter what team he puts out. If he plays Boss and Lowell tomorrow, when it would not bother me whatsoever. I firmly believe in Ange. I firmly believe in his idea. I firmly believe because he sees these guys day in, day out. He sees what they're capable of. He knows what they're capable of. And I think, as I say, guys, Barry, you think we're only at 50%. I don't even think we've reached halfway yet, mate. I think we're still climbing. We're only in phase 2 is what I would call a full rebuild of that team.
Unbelievable, man.
That's scary. No, it's absolutely frightening. We're absolutely blittering teams out the road.
See in regards to Greg Taylor, I'll put it to you, right? Also, we get the internationals coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Does he play before Andy Robertson?
Andy Robertson's not playing, he's injured.
Aye, well, no, Andy Robertson's not playing, he's injured.
If Andy Robertson was fit?
No. As much as Robertson's not been doing well for Liverpool,
No.
Kieran Tierney's not playing much with Arsenal now. Craig Taylor is on form, probably the best left back now, but it doesn't. For me, the way I see it in Arsenal football now, it used to be on form. See now, see once you're in that squad, unless you have an absolute mare, you're not getting out it, because in terms of Liam Henderson's played 43 out of 44 games for his team in Italy, Serie A, can't get a sniff. Ryan Gold can't get a sniff. But yet Ryan Potus called up, mate, guys doing so. Liam Lindsay been superb, can't get a call up. So
big boy Cal Naismith's been outstanding, I know.
Cal Naismith as well.
A good player, by the way.
And as much as people don't want to mention him, right, Barry Mackay, he's a decent player for Hearts. He's been performing well for Hearts, but he's not getting a sniff. So where do you draw the line, and who is it? Performance? Is it?
It's not down to that, Ryan, with that, man. I think under Steve Clarke, it's down to his trust. It's down to, obviously, he's showed a lot of loyalty to the boys that got him to the Euros, and that's fair enough. That's fine.
But for me,
that's how Tony Ralston wasn't getting a sniff, and he was playing like Steve O'Donnell. Now, to us, that might sound the most ridiculous fucking thing you've ever heard, right?
He should never
because
been Scotland.
The two players are night and day. But Jace, what I will say is Stephen O'Donnell has never let him down. That's the way Steve Clarke looks at it. He's never let him down. It's not because Anthony Ralston's not a better player than him or vice versa. It's all to do with trust. Stephen O'Donnell played under him at Kilmarnock. He knows the guy inside out. Same with Greg Taylor. But Andy Robertson, unfortunately, mate's playing with a club who have been in 3 Champions League finals in the last 5-6 years. They've won the Champions League in one of the finals. They're challenging. They've won the Premier League in the last couple of years. They're challenging every season in the Premier League down in England. That's the reason why Andy Robertson will be selected for Greg Taylor. It's going to take something like, I don't know, Celtic would need to get to the fucking semi-finals of the Champions League or something before he would get that recognition, I reckon, to sort of then
he might play
that.
One,
but I do think he'll play at some point in the couple of games we've got coming, only because Andy Robertson's injured.
I agree.
You cannot overlook Greg Taylor for the way he's playing. What we are saying, I know we're having a bit of banter, we're doing this, we're saying this, we're saying it. But what we're saying isn't untrue. He's playing like a fucking playmaker. He's playing an inverted fullback role, mate, but he's one of the most comfortable players on the ball in my team. He's playing passes that are we're not even seeing before it happens. You go like that, what the fuck, man? How did you even see that? Did you try that? He's playing a lot more passes with his right foot now. All his passes are going forward instead of back of him because he's got firm belief in what he's doing.
Just confident.
And because the role he's got in the Celtic team and the freedom he's been given to play.
I think the way he plays with Celtic, it's all going to help his Scotland credentials.
Scotland don't play that way.
Scotland don't play that way.
But I think eventually he will need to get in the squad because against the media will hound him if he keeps playing well. Same with Ralston eventually get in. Same with Nathan Patterson. But again, I agree.
Patterson's playing down there now,
but to be fair, listen, I've said as much as
he's a good player.
He is a good player, but I'll try and end it tonight, lads. Don't want to keep you too long. But I do agree with you that I think what Barry says especially about Ange, spot on. Again, JP, what you're saying, we don't stop. But I think Jason as well, what you're saying about again how potentially we could go unbeaten. I agree with you all. I think it's the unbeaten thing could be a bit far-fetched, but as a months go on, it could be something. But again, I think the more I'm agreeing with you, I think there's only one winner if we turn up. But again, if you like the content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get the wee bell, click on it, and we'll pop up every time we go live. Me, Jason, Barry, and JP are on Twitter. Just set some names in Twitter, and you'll get us on there. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're on TikTok as well. Just take the name of the podcast, and you'll get some Me Jazzy videos, and you'll get us on social media platforms. But again, lads, hail, take care, and I'll see you again, boys. Hail.